tuning to Wide Eyes, a podcast made to uplift and educate others about the Asian American community. My name is Katie.
I'm New. And this is Anou. In this episode, we are going to update you guys about, drumroll please, our lives. Yay!
Yay! Woo!
But yeah, in this episode, we are going to update you guys about our lives, just where we've been this past 6 months, reflecting on, because now it's almost January, February, March, April, May, June. Oh my God, we're going into the 7th month of this year, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, so we just thought we'd give you guys a little update to see where we're at right now. So if New or Katie, you guys want to take it away first? Don't matter who.
Yeah, no, I'll go ahead and go. So a little life update about, well, not really a little, I guess. Well, just an update is that I did finally graduated. Oh my God, yay.
Woohoo, yes, girl.
So yeah, so I graduated from college. I feel like I guess to a certain extent for some people, it's like a really big accomplishment. But for me, I just feel like, yes, I did it. And now I'm like, what's next? Like now I'm just like, what's next? But I'm like, I've been going at it for school for so long. And now I'm just like, you know what? I need to learn to like relax a little and practice self-care and just to relax, because I feel like I've been so like on it with school, academics, and doing all these extracurricular activities, and then also like having 2 jobs and just trying to balance everything. So now it's like, now that I'm done with school, I'm also looking into master's program, but then I'm like, you know what? I need to stop. I just need to relax a little, give myself a little bit of a break and a breather. So yeah, but other than that, I graduated. And I did it with one of my older sister. So, so it was a really like happy moment for both of us because we got to like, experience the whole thing together. So that was really nice. All right. Now I know that we did took a whole month off, and not just that, but in June, we're in June, right? Yeah, in June. Basically, in June, we did some trips. And Anu and Katie, if you guys would like to share with us what you guys did and how was your guys' experience with everything. So I have to share this. I came to like New and Anu, like I think March or April, proposing the idea that we have to go see Jimmy Brown or the Good Days Boys at the time, because like I'm such a big fan of Jimmy Brown. I was there for him since day one. So I was like, we have to support the boy. Anu was, she was like, let's go. And New too, however, she has something going on, so she couldn't go with me and New, which sucks. But you know what? It's okay. San Fran, it was good. It was good. But you know what? Anu, do you want to take away what happened?
Yeah, I feel like Katie was the most disappointed, but I think I was just equally up there. And so I was looking for, okay, so Katie, like she said, like 2, 3 months ago, she was like, oh my God, let's go. And then I was just like, okay, I'm down. And then Katie was just like, I remember Katie telling me like, I don't think she's that down. But then I ended up like, let's book this. And she's like, okay, I guess she's down. And I was really excited because this was going to be my first like concert experience. And I've always wanted like my first concert experience to be like kind of underground, like an underground. I don't even know that word, like an underground concert experience. And so I was like very looking forward to this because at least Jimmy Brown and the Good Days Boys, they were like somewhat popular, but not so much to the extent of like the other artists that I follow, like Kashi, and now officially Mr. Jackson Wang, Katie and Hnub be pushing it.
Yes,
And then, yes,
Wang.
yes, I'm officially on the Jackson Wang fan club. But yeah, so I was very excited. I was like, yes, this is gonna be the experience that I want. And then I get out of the shower after day one, which day one was like, it was a lot. Day one, I think we did a lot of stuff day one. We went, actually not that much, but it was the Amtrak ride that took its toll on us.
We did do a lot. We went to the museum, California.
Oh yeah, that's right. The
We
natural,
did.
the
Yes.
Science Natural History Museum.
Yes, girl.
Academy of Sciences. There you go.
Yes, there you go.
There you
And
go.
wait, I also want to add that just so our viewers know, like we
took until the day where I proposed the idea to Anu and New till like I think almost June. Anu and I have been on Zoom, like just planning, like literally
Mm-hmm.
hours of planning this trip.
Mm-hmm. Like yes, because we looked at like first we looked at a hotel in like the Mission District. It was really cute, but we found out like they had shared showers and like bathroom hygiene was like a no for us. And so we looked at like four, I think like two, no, maybe not four, like two or three other places like we booked and we're like, oh no, this is I found okay, mainly because of me, because I always like find better accommodations and I'm always looking. So if it's a better deal, I always like, Katie, let's hop back on Zoom. But it was, yes, we spent hours looking for like Airbnbs, place stuff to do, food places we could try and eat, different things we can do in SF. But yeah, we spent a lot of hours into this
Yeah.
trip. And then yes, so after the first night, I come out of the shower. Katie was like, started recording me. She was like, "Oh my god, guess what I do?" I was like, "What?" And so she's like, "Just guess." And then I was like, "Okay, did this happen? This happened?" And I jokingly threw, I was like, "What, is a concert canceled or something?" And then she looked at me. She was like, and then I looked at her. I was like, "The concert's canceled." And it's just this moment of silence of like, "Are you fucking kidding me? We came all this way here for it to be canceled?"
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and so I finally understood the struggles of like and the stress, especially the stress of like concerts being canceled by like your artists and stuff like that. Cause I was
Yeah.
like, are you kidding me? We came all the way here, we spent all this money, and like now what? It was just there's nothing to show for it because the whole sole reason why we came here was for the concert. But yes, unfortunately, the Good Days Boys concert was canceled.
Mm-hmm.
And we found out during the trip.
Yeah.
So yeah. Kate, what are some things going through your mind when that happened? Because I know you found out before I did because I was still taking my sweet time in the shower.
Mm-hmm. I was heartbroken. I felt betrayed. I don't know. I think I remember telling I felt like it was my first breakup. Maybe I'm being dramatic or whatnot, but like since I was there for him since day one, I feel like all sorts of emotion. And I think I cried a little bit too. It was a lot. Okay. Like at first I was in disbelief because I was like, maybe this is not true. But then like I'm on his Instagram page, right? And then he made a post saying that he postponed the concert. And I'm like, okay, no, this is real. And I went to the comments, like I went on full like detective mode, like I was doing my research. The comments were like a lot of his fans were devastated, of course, just like me. And it was a lot. Like I said, it was like a breakup because I was feeling a lot of pain. Okay, like I think Anu knows that too, and I could tell Anu was because I got Anu hooked on, and I know she was so excited for her first concert. So I want everything to go smoothly, but like we did definitely hit a curb on the first day. Like, so my thing is like, although that day, like I feel like it was an eventful day. Like let's just say that it was not going as smooth as like we envisioned our plan, because like Anu and I mentioned, like we planned our itinerary, like we had it down, we're like we're gonna do this and that, but then like since I technically lost my phone with just and then Jimmy Brown, the Good Days Boys canceled their concert, it was just not going well that night. But what did we try to do out of this situation?
Okay, first off, we're like, okay, let's just go home. So literally that night, we're like, okay, how much would it be to change our Amtrak, cancel the Airbnb? But then we thought about it. We're like, okay, we're already in SF. It took a lot to get here. And so we're like, okay, let's just stick it out and let's just stay in SF and explore the city. Because we had a lot of things that we wanted to do, but we couldn't try or like we couldn't do it. We had to like make room for the concert and like prepping for the concert and whatnot. And so we're like, okay, let's just do all of the stuff that we weren't going to do because of the concert and just do them. And so I personally enjoyed, I think it was a blessing in disguise that the concert wasn't there or we didn't go to the concert. It got canceled because, and I'll also say this, I wasn't there for the Good Days Boys. I was there for Jimmy Brown. And so I've expressed this to Katie on multiple occasions. Like the Good Days, their album, playlist too. I've had like one or two songs, but like the rest of the time I was just like, okay, we're here vibing. But there was really only one or two songs. I was like, okay, this is my jam. And so really there for Jimmy Brown. So I was like, okay, I wasn't exactly like I guess I was more, like Katie said, like more saddened that I couldn't see Jimmy Brown than the Good Days Boys. And so I was like, okay, that's okay. But I was really glad that we got the time to explore the city and all of the, I guess, tourist traps and just non-tourist traps that we did. But it was really nice because I got to learn more about Katie, obviously, and like how she is during travels and vice versa. But it was just really nice to, like, kind of like a little getaway in a sense too. And I think not having to worry about getting to the concert, especially at night too in SF, it was like, okay, not as scary. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was nice. I would say, okay, it was nice. I feel like the message is not being conveyed. Like I'm saying it sarcastically, but it was honestly really nice. And we got to explore a lot of the, like Asian. Like we went to Japantown. I really enjoyed Japantown. They had a whole event, a tofu event there, which was really unique. I've never been to a tofu event. But I just really liked being able to get the city feel, explore different places, take a lot of pictures, and eat decent amount of food. I feel like we didn't eat as many food places that we should have, but I think of the food places that we went to, except for Lily, I think most of them were good. I really enjoyed Tangvar. That was my recap of it.
Same here. Like, I second to Anou. Like, it was really, although we were mainly there originally for the Good Days Boys, Jimmy Brown, it was a blessing in disguise because if that wasn't postponed, right, I think Anou and I wouldn't have explored San Fran as much. And we did a lot of walking, and I enjoyed that a lot. So it was really nice to just look around the city. And I think for my part, like I struggle to just walk slowly and enjoy the scene. And I want to thank Anu for helping me doing that because, like, I mean, my God, homegirl here, I was like, I feel like I was running or something. I was fast walking, I was speed walking. It's just my normal pace, but I think Anu really helped me to just, enjoy my time, the city life, take everything in as it is. So, like Anu said, I was able to get to know Anu a lot too on this trip, and it was really nice. So yeah, like I had a great time.
Props to you both. Like that is like for me, I'll be so devastated, but I feel like you guys look at the light at the end of the tunnel and made the best of it for your trip. Like concert being canceled on you guys and not being able to go. I'm happy for you guys that you guys made the most of your trip. And while they were in San Francisco, I was in LA for BB Rexa, and I loved it. Like she did amazing. It felt like she ate the damn CD. She was that good. Like her vocal range, everything, her performance, and the whole thing, like it was like a retro vibe that she was giving us, and she delivered. And I love her fan interaction. She brought like multiple fans on stage. Because she had a song with Nicki Minaj, and then one of the fans did Nicki Minaj's verse, and then she had three other fans come on stage, and they were all doing like a twerk battle, dancing to get like freebies. And I was like, oh my God, if I had known that the second round was going to be a dance battle, I would have volunteered myself to go and compete. But it was just really fun. Like I enjoyed it. But what made it even more fun was that I did it with my sisters. So it was all of my older sisters and I. It was our first concert together as a group. And it was really nice seeing my older sisters just letting loose, being themselves, enjoying themselves for the first time, because my sisters, most of them are moms and they have husbands, and they got mom duties or whatever, and they got work. So I was just happy to see them being able to like enjoy life a little, breathe a little, and just being themselves in their own comfort zone. So I'm glad that my sisters and we got to experience that together, I'm sure that my sisters, they enjoyed it as much as well. But other than the concert trip, there were some activities that me and my sisters, or like we separated into groups too, to do like these different activities. So we went to like a science and math museum, so that was one, and then we went to another museum that was, I don't even know, I remember the name of the airplane. It's called the Endeavors, but I don't know the museum name. I am so terrible at this. Like it was pretty interesting to see, like, because it was a lot about like NASA and like about reproductive growth. It was very, I guess you could say, educational, the museum that I went to, because my nephew, he was actually the one that found it and he wanted to check it out. So we all went and checked it out. So it was a pretty cool experience on that part. My family, we also went to the 626 night market in Orange County fair. I believe that's what it's called, convention fair. And then it was, because I've actually gone to 626 night market like back when I was in high school. And back then, like from what I recall, the food was all right. It wasn't as good, and I just felt that it was overpriced with everything. But that's me and my high school mind back then. But then now as an adult, like getting to experience it for the second time, I would have to say that it is very much different, because before it was just strictly food vendors. But this time around, it wasn't just food vendors. They had like small business vendors as well that sold merch, keychains. They sold like anime stuff, stickers, self-love, like different type of merch and items that they sold there that I loved it there. I bought a lot of things like little different merch and souvenirs to take home. And also the food was pretty good this time around. Like I had it was something with duck, and they had a banh mi. So it was kind of like a Korean pancake that they deep fried, and then they put like duck on it, and they used like a banh mi style ingredients into it. And it was a pretty interesting approach to that type of food style. And then we had like the deep fried squid. It was the really humongous one that's bigger than your face. But I enjoyed everything. Like all the food, they were all good. I enjoyed it, because I would have to say, like, compared to like my first experience, I would have to say the food was much better. And I loved how they had different, like a variety of vendors there, like selling different merch and items. And I loved it, because I took a lot of things home, and I spent so much money on this trip. And there were some hiccups along the way, but that's okay. That's for another story. Other than those hiccups, I still pretty much enjoy the trip, because I was like, you know what? I'm going to enjoy myself, eat all the food that I love, and do all the walking, and, just enjoy life. So now let's move on to, oh my God. So Anu and Katie, they have been on their 1-year gap. So I want to ask the both of you, how does it feel? And where are you guys on to? And what's next? And just like, how was it? Like your 1-year gap experience? What have you learned about yourself? And what is it that, you don't love, or what you don't like, or what have you experienced? And yeah, just tell us about it.
Well, I guess 1 year gap year officially, I think is officially since May, maybe June. I would say June. June was like when I really got into it. Or maybe August, because technically, okay, you know what? Okay, it's going all over the place. So it was actually it was a hit and miss. And so I definitely enjoyed my gap year. Don't get me wrong. It was really nice to just kind of like process everything and do everything at my own pace. And mainly I say this because going into when I finished undergrad, I had like no clear direction, and I for sure I didn't plan on applying to grad school, because one, I thought I was going to be applying to medical school up until my 3rd year, and then my 4th year I was just kind of like, I didn't want to go into a master's because that was like the next thing to do, because I didn't know what to do. And so it was really nice to be able to spend, I think I spent like the first, from August up until August when I got back from UCLA until December. Yeah, I was just taking the time to apply to grad school. And I really want to thank Katie. Shout out to Katie, who she spent like over the span of like the 4 months. She spent her she dedicated her Sundays with me to be like accountability partners. And it was really nice because I was like, okay, I have Sundays set for, it was really nice to just have a time or a chunk of time dedicated for grad applications. And for those of you who are planning on applying to grad school, or who have applied to grad school, it is a lot of work in terms of researching which programs you want to get into. if you did find a program that you'd like to, making sure you have faculty there who are, have similar interests as you. And so maybe in the future we can do, once Katie and Hnub, they apply to grad school too, if they do decide to, we can do a whole episode about tips and tricks about applying for grad school. But it was a lot of work, doing statement of purposes, personal statements, sending it to people to take a look at it, edit it, sending the feedback back. And then, just the whole editing process itself took a while. And so it was really helpful those from August to December to just dedicate time for grad school applications, because I felt like that really made my application the strongest it can be. And so I only applied to 3 programs or 3 schools and then 4 different programs. And so I applied to UCI, UCLA, their MPH program and their Asian American Studies program, UCI's MPH program, and then Fresno State's MPH program. And this is what I mean by doing research, because I ended up not doing any of the MPH programs that I got applied to, even though that was initially my intent, because I found out later that the MPH program doesn't really match my interests and like what I want to do in the future. And so I could have saved up a lot of money just applying to one program. But so this is what I mean when like it was really nice to have the time to just focus on like what it is that I wanted to do, and like really hone in on the different programs that that best suit my interests. But yeah, so from January to now, it's just kind of been like doing whatever. Nothing interesting at all, except for the SF trip. That was a highlight. But yeah, it was just taking odd gigs here and there, and so nothing really concrete. And so this is what I mean by the miss part of the hit and miss. So it definitely hit in terms of allowing me time to really think about what I want to do, but the miss was I wish I would have had like if not an internship or like just something planned out during my gap year where I felt like it didn't go to waste. And so I felt like, yeah, I got opportunities to work here and there, but it wasn't anything like solid where I felt like I got a lot of experience. I did pick up a couple of research experience, but it was all volunteer work. It would have been nice to get paid, but I didn't mind that, but it was volunteer work. So I did get a few research experience working with a faculty member at UCLA or UC Merced. But yeah, so I wish I would have just had something lined up for my gap year for me to like just focus on, because I felt like this gap year was really, really, really long because I just didn't have anything solid to do from January until now. Or I would say, okay, well, to be fair, the research experience was from January up until May. And so I guess from May till now was just kind of like what's going on. But yes, so if any of y'all are planning on doing a gap year, I highly recommend it, because now that I'm going to be starting in the fall again, it's just kind of like I realized the importance of, at least for what I want to do in the future, how important it is to just continue my education and just push through it, because yes, the gap year was nice and I was definitely able to recover from my burnout, but I was just like, I think a gap year was a little too long for me personally. And I think if I do decide to pursue a PhD program, it's not going to be a whole gap year. It's just going to be like, I feel like from master's to PhD, like that gap, those few month gaps is like perfect enough. And then, just ready to pick up on. But yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I just, like I said, just wish I had something concrete planned out, and secured. But yeah, overall, I would recommend it. What about you, Katie?
Similar to you, Anu, I had like no clear direction of what I want to do after graduating too. I do know that I wanted to continue my education. I wanted to go grad school a year from my gap year, right? So that means that I have to do my research after graduating and applying so like again next year, the following year. That's my intention. That's what I thought. But then, like Anu mentioned, I was her accountability partner and she was mine too. And I'm very thankful for that, because if I didn't went on that journey with Anu, I would have known that I didn't want to pursue my master's yet or grad in general, because my gut feeling at that time, like even now too, I feel as like I'm not ready. And I feel like you should, for any of you who just graduated from undergrad and feeling just uncertain about life, follow your gut feeling. That's my number one advice, because sometimes, like for me, I feel pressure in wanting to fulfill other people's dream, for example my family, because they want me to pursue or pursue higher education after undergrad. They want me to do that, but I know within myself that I'm not ready for it. And you just, I would say, just follow your gut feeling. And but with that taken into consideration too, like I said, I did my research with the new. I emailed out to professors in the field that I wanted to learn more about or curious about, which was or which still is social work. And I talked to many faculties. And one thing that this one faculty in the social work department, she told me that I will never forget. Like it's something that's ingrained in me and I will apply in my daily life. She told me to allow myself the opportunity to grow, because I feel at that moment in a way, I was very just like go, 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 go. Like I didn't have that clear direction what I want to do. I just want to do it, right? I was driven, but what is driving me, right? So that was my question. I know I'm driven, but what's driving me to do it? There's not really a concrete reason why something's driven me, correct? So I was like, you know what, I need to figure that out for myself. And with that, I have to allow myself to grow and explore. And that means that for the gap year, I have to take the initiative and do that. So then I decided to, I think I informed Anu maybe in September or October that I won't be applying for grad school. But nonetheless, I still want to be there for Anu. So I stayed, I think, till November at least, until she got her application at least done, because girl, ride or die here, okay? But yeah, so I'm pretty sure Anu realized too. I feel so much relief. When I was gonna tell her that I'm not gonna do the grad program, I feel a bit not maybe not guilty, but like I feel, I don't know, there's like a sense of responsibility. I feel that maybe like, oh man, I feel like, man, I'm letting her down. Although I know Anu's just like, no, you're not letting me down. But I feel that way just because, being me. But then I feel such a relief and like in a way a burden off my chest, because I think that was the first time I feel so like happy. Like I feel like, oh my God, like I don't have to worry about this. Like I don't have to do it for other people. Like I don't have to do for my family. Finally, just being me, doing what I want to do and putting myself on my priority list. So, listen to your gut feeling, right? Allow yourself to grow and explore. So that's what I did. And with that, like I said, do your research, talk to people in the field, get insight from their minds, right? And that could hopefully help you conclude your decision. Just doing that whole year thing, I realized like, what's next? What's next for us, right? What's next for me? And I'm like, life is too short. You know what? Let me just go teach English and abroad with New, right? Because she's been wanting to do this for the longest time, and I did too. Well, we both wanted to study abroad during our undergrad, and we did apply twice. First time we got in and COVID happened, so that was canceled. Second time we got in, but it was our last, well, for me it was my last year, and for New it was technically her almost last year. But then we both had our first like bigger job, you can say, like on campus, like our first job. We were like, we were trying to weigh our pros and cons and just like, should we really go study abroad in South Korea at that time? Or should we just stick it through at the job that we're giving here because of the resources and opportunities that can allow us to grow individually and academically, right? So we were like, you know what, we're just going to stay because South Korea will always be there. Like we can always go abroad, right? Even though we're not able to study abroad, we can always go visit. So we're like, you know what, that could be on the back burner for now.
Yeah, Katie already explained everything of what's next, but an update into like what's next. Recently, we both actually applied for our certification courses, so we'll be starting that in July. So it is our TESOL certification courses, and once that is done, our application opens up in February in 2024. So once that opens up, we'll be applying, and it's just these little steps that we're doing that it's like it's giving me this eye-awakening experience, like, oh my God, we are really doing it. And I feel like we're bound to be nervous about it, but at the end of the day, we are going to be learning so much about a whole new country. And also, I feel like with the TESOL certification course, it will, help us. I feel like it'll be a whole new relearning experience of like English, even though we do speak English. I feel like it's something that as students or as a learner, we are constantly learning new things and applying them into the real world. And just seeing how like we're taking just those small steps and going forward towards that goal. I'm like proud of us both because we always talked about it, and we're putting in the action and trying to make our way to get there. So I'm proud of us both. But other than that, what's next for me, of course, is continue to apply to multiple various jobs. I just got done with school, so now I'm looking into job opportunities. And this past week, I actually had an interview opportunity with a coordinator position on campus. Honestly, I'm like, if I get it, I get it. If I don't, it's okay, because I'm like, you know what? If I don't get it, I'm just like, that's just maybe a message for me that I should really do what I want to do. And that is eating, concerts, being just enjoying life. But I know that's not gonna make me money at the end of the day. So that's why, I'm also looking into like different job opportunities. So yeah, so my gap year is just going to be consist of me rediscovering myself all over again, enjoying myself, just working, saving money, and also going into my therapy sessions, which are my concerts that I love and enjoy. It's like an out of the body experience. And if you guys have not gone to concerts before, listeners, I encourage you guys to experience it. It's like a whole different vibe and experience, and a whole different world as well, a perspective. And I really encourage all of you guys, just go out and experience everything. All right, now on to Anou. What's next for you, Anou?
Before I tell y'all, I just want to say I'm so happy you two are finally going and pursuing your dreams of teaching abroad in South Korea. And I've only ever heard you guys ever talk about going to South Korea. And so I really applaud you two for taking that leap of courage and going and really doing it. And so also new job, manifesting good vibes, positive energy to you. You're gonna get it. I know you're gonna get it. If they don't choose you, then you know what? It's their loss. And so yes, for me, nothing too exciting, I guess. I mentioned it in like a past episode before, but yes, I'm going to be starting at UCLA in the fall. I'm going to be doing the Master of Arts, the Asian American Studies program, pursuing my Master of Arts. And it's just really nice to be, I'm actually kind of not looking forward to the academic as much, because it was really, this gap year was nice. It felt really good not having to worry about deadlines and whatnot. But I think I'm just more so excited of just learning more, and really experiencing like living by myself for the first time, like discovering who Anou is through the lenses of like I guess academia. Because I was talking to a few of the current students right now in the program, and they said this program really challenged them to think outside of the box, and they're looking at things in a way that they've never would have thought to before. And that's something that I'm really excited to hopefully be able to do. But yes, just yeah, UCLA in the fall. Now that we have housing in LA, my place is always open to New and Katie. I know we are possibly thinking about going to another concert together, Mr. Jimmy Brown. I'm just very excited to be in LA, and explore the city and just just going to UCLA. Like that's such a flex. And I'm just really excited for that. And so with that said, this wraps up our conversation for the month of June. We can't wait to chat with you all in the next episode. Feel free to check us out on Instagram at Wide Eyes Podcast.